Hello everyone, welcome to Alibaba.com Buyer Talk Show. Today is our very first episode of Buyer Talk Show. So moving forward, we're going to invite a lot of buyers to our show and talk about their business strategy. And also we're going to invite some greatest sellers in China. They will also introduce their new product and also share with us their insights. Today I'm the host, Devin. I'm responsible for Alibaba.com category operation team. So today, we're very proud to invite three distinguished guests. The first one is from Nike Group Converse brand. He is the product director, Mr. Hassan Boilu. He will be connecting with us from Shanghai. The second one is the global largest sports equipment retailer, Intersports, Asia Pacific Managing Director, Mr. Robin Trapp. He'll be with us in Beijing today. Last but not least, we're very proud to have the Italian famous outdoor equipment brand, Tecnica Group Managing Director, Remigio Brunelli, with us today. Today, I'm going to invite them to share with us their business strategy under the pandemic time, how they adjust their business strategy and how they gain more market share. So, and also I will invite two Alibaba.com sellers. They will introduce their new product and share with us their insights and business strategy as well. Converse is a very famous brand. You must be very curious how they judge the market trend, how they produce the product that consumers like, and how they price their product and gain more market share. So today we're going to connect with the product director of Converse brand, Mr. Hassan Boilu. He will be sharing with us from Nike headquarters in Shanghai.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I would like to share with you my personal observations from the marketplace, the consumer, and maybe we get into a couple of trends going forward. Before we start with any of the trends, I would like to take a moment because it all starts with the consumer. The consumer first. Big innovators, big visionaries out there have always started with the consumer. They look into what the behaviors are. They try to identify what triggers the consumer on buying, celebrating, where they hang out, what they do. So as a key trend setter, you need to find a way to connect the best with your consumer. If you don't know your consumer, your target audience, you need to spend time. When you spend time, you all of a sudden are immersed into their environment. Their environment, again, what music they listen to, who their friends are, what they're doing, what they're eating, where they're shopping, what they're doing in the evenings and the mornings. And with all of these things, you will start figuring out what they're inspired by. So once you know your target audience, then you can start thinking about, some of their designs. But you can't just start designing, right? A critical thinking is called the design thinking, as you might have heard. It's a great methodology. Before you try to solve and bring a product to the marketplace, you might want to spend time in the so-called problem space. You want to find out what problems the consumers have. When you do that well, then you can go into defining the problem, identifying it, and then creating designs, products, but not just launch them. You want to prototype it. You want to test and learn. When you do that well, then you might create a great solution that really connects with the consumer. In the same sense, once you do that well, you can't just go and launch the product. it still needs to look good, right? So one of the best companies and brands out there in the world is Nike, doing that really well. There are many other brands as well doing really, really well. Apple, right? Tesla, DJI, right? So in many different industries and sectors, brands are doing this really well. The design ethos. In my personal opinion, I call this proportions of harmony. How do you create the best design cues that triggers an interest at your consumer? Unfortunately, this year, we had to stop a little bit, right? COVID happened. With COVID, what has happened to everyone, the world got challenged. We got challenged by the way we behave, the things we got used to, waking up, doing certain things, how to do we sports, where to hang out, how we shop. Everything changed this year. And it's not stopping, right? This is a good moment as well where the industry, the digital transformations are happening in many different sectors, where you need to, before doing anything, creating product for or designing or solutions, again, you need to understand the current consumer behavior. What has changed? You still have the same consumer, but their behavior changed. They don't go out and shop anymore as they were doing before. Online shopping, similar thing. What are they buying? What are they looking for? But not only just shopping, right? The behavior of looking on, staying at home. What activities are they doing, right? What they're doing in terms of creating excitement for the family, how they have fun, right? Some of these industries, you know very well, have been entertainment business at home, have been amazing. Like this year, how fast they grow, right? Food and beverage, crazy, right? How people got more and more interested in eating and dining, but not just having fun, but people got also conscious about mental health, physical health. Like with all of these, there are also solutions out there, creating new products, new equipment, how to solve for logistics, deliveries. Like within the overall umbrella of COVID, this has all happened with the behavior in mind of the consumer. One of the fascinating areas that I feel super excited about is on the digital transformation. Actually, the acceleration of digital transformation. In every industry around the world, it has happened. And it's going on in double speed. When you look into some of these sectors that you might not create product for at this moment or a year ago, such as education systems, right? Distance learning. How do you create tools in order for the children or adults being able to perform in the way? So as COVID has impacted our lives, we have to think about what it has done as well good. Again, the acceleration to digital transformation is a key one. How we got used to speed delivery, how we got used to new tools and techniques in this environment. Digital tools, right? For education, apps, new developments, new solutions for us, for our environment, for our children, for our families, for our companies. How do you design that without going to the factory? How do you make decisions on materials without touching materials? So all of these areas were problems that found solutions that we can adapt or update and use going forward. As you know, our health system, our health in general has been impacted. The way we manufacture, some of these products we have not even heard before. PPEs, masks, and all of these other areas that are super critical nowadays in our day-to-day. Again, you need to understand your consumer, the consumer behavior, problems, and how to solve for. When you do this well, you're reading trends. If you are really a great visionary or like a great innovator, those guys can really look far beyond than today and tomorrow. And they are great leaders in that area. So the other piece within the digital transformation, I believe, is on data and analytics. How do you capture? How do you collect data? How do you read data? How do you filter out data? How can you utilize data to predict future? How do you utilize data to design for your consumer? That area of data has been immense. This digital tool that we can all utilize can create innovative products for the future. For short term, it's about solving for today or tomorrow. But midterm and long-term trends, there are a lot of other areas, some exciting areas. I'm fascinated with virtual reality and augmented reality. How do these things become incremental to our current experiences, online, offline? How do these experiences or these tools or platforms become an integral part of our designing and design process and products? If you look even further out beyond midterm, you see some other trends are happening. Then you still need to find a way to price it. Price is a key component of success. High price, low price, it doesn't really matter. It depends on your product that you bring to the marketplace. But it's not just the product. It's also something very interesting. It's the experience you are creating with the product. It's those emotions you are creating with your product. On screen, you're seeing a 1960 911 Porsche, one of my favorite cars. I am inspired by this car in many different ways, from aesthetics, but also from just the beauty of it. But it's not just the car itself or the engine or that speed. It's the entire experience that you create. It's the package that you get out of the right pricing. With different geographies around the world, cultural nuances are also impacting the pricing strategies. Right? You need to really understand what, who, and how you want to launch certain products in the marketplace and who is it for. With that in mind, you can start defining very specific solutions. Price value is key. You need to ensure that price is important to the value, and the value that not only you create, but the consumer is willing to pay. With that said, the importance of consumer, the importance of their environment, the importance of the design, reading the trends to predict the future and price it in the right way to deliver back to the consumer, online and offline, is key. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan, for your interpretation. As you know, in today's COVID-19 crisis, all the industry has been suffering from it. As the leader of the sports industry, how do they come out of this trouble? Let's welcome the world's largest sports retailer, Mr. Robin Trapp from Intersports.
Hello everybody, Ni Hao Alibaba Group. So today, my name is Robin Trapp, Managing Director of Intersport Asia Pacific. I want to tell you a little bit about the global sports trend and developments. So first of all, the good news are sport is on trend. Even though we had a very challenging year this year, 2020, with the COVID outbreak, so sport was on the rise. So the number of sport activities uploaded on several apps like Strava, or also the Chinese ones, Keep, Joyrun, are exploding. So after the outbreak, everybody wanted to take care more of their health. And all the sport activities were booming. So different sports, but outdoor activities, for example, ×3, but also running, cycling, all activities were very popular, and people started to do more sports. Also, of course, because they were sitting in home office, in lockdown, so they had the need of really moving and doing something to stay fit, to stay healthy, and people were more aware of that. So that is first of all the good news, so we can be lucky to be in the sport industry. So, but what was the impact on the sport industry? At the beginning of the year, I think everybody thought, okay, we need to find the formula to survive. Then the second thing is, how do we recover? How do we stabilize our business? And then, what can we do as a next step to emerge, to get stronger in 2021 and ongoing? So this was the task, and is still the task, depending on where in the world you are, what everybody has to take care of. So there are short-term impacts, mid-term impacts, and long-term impacts. And I want to just point out some and then go into some more product and category details later on. But there was, of course, an immediate shift from offline retail to online retail. People were not allowed to go into stores, so they bought more products online. Then, of course, there was a trend of doing sport activities at home. Workouts, or what we at Intersport, we called it work-ins, getting more popular, or got more popular. So there was a clear trend of doing sport at home, either alone or with family, using online tools like Keep again, or Facebook, or whatever tools. And also there was a trend of gym home equipment. So from yoga mats to treadmills to small equipment, all this was very popular. Then also a lot of digital solutions came up all around the world for delivery, from food to whatever. So a lot of new businesses came up, and there were opportunities. There were a lot of challenges, but also a lot of opportunities. And people who acted fast could do a good business in that time. But of course, offline was under pressure. So offline retail, the whole year, there were stores completely closed or like limited opening times. So offline retail was really on pressure. Then consumer behavior changed. So people changed. They connected quite a lot in the time of the lockdown with brands, but only brands who gave like a purpose of connecting to them with a good CRM tool, with connecting to the consumers, giving these online workouts, for example, giving some special offers or advices how to do. Then all the sport events were suspended. I mean, Olympics were cancelled or postponed to this year, to next year, to 2021. But also smaller events on amateur and professional level, sport events were cancelled. And then the last thing, product launches were also cancelled or postponed. Some companies like postponed product launches. Some said, okay, we do it maybe next year. Some said, okay, we do it. But then, of course, the problem was there were too many products on the market in some brands, in some categories, where maybe there was not that high demand in this year. So I will talk about some of these things later on again. The good thing is, in sports, we've seen a rise in business. In most of the countries, we see some countries were hit really hard by the lockdown, but in most countries, we see here in Asia Pacific a trend that we gained momentum, that people did more sport, wanted to do more sport, and bought also a lot of sport products. So what does that mean? So first of all, spending in sports was on the rise. People didn't travel, people didn't go to hotels, to restaurants, so they bought more sport products. So that is the first good news. Then a lot shifted to digital. So digital was the clear winner, of course. From online platforms like Alibaba, like Tmall, they won a lot of market share this year, but also digital services and smaller platforms won a lot this year because people had more time, they were more at home, they were more on their computers and especially mobile phones, of course. Then outdoor. People had really the demand of doing something outdoors. So they went outdoor alone, doing running or doing biking, doing outdoor activities. Again, not traveling, but maybe traveling domestically, staying in their own country, like a whole week of camping with a family. So camping was also one of the trends. So, and then last but not least, people did more individual sports. So what was struggling most were the team sports. So football, basketball was a challenging year for all the team sports. So mostly the winners of this year were categories or were sports which you could do alone. Then also the products where you can do sports alone. So, and I will come to this in a second. So what are some of the key trends and consumer trends? Because everything what we are doing has to be, of course, connected to the consumer. So there are stories and products last year and also ongoing now, which we should focus on. So there's still important things like back to school. Yoga was a trend and is a trend, an ongoing trend, but also running and especially trail running is a trend. And still, we should not forget the normal Chinese New Year, Golden Week, Christmas periods. So talking about the categories which won in 2020. So one clear winner was running. So people did more and more running. So as I said, trail running, but also road running. So running is one of the trends. Sports style, sportwear was under pressure because people didn't have too many events, too many parties, too many gatherings where they wanted to dress up for. Fitness is a clear winner of the year. People did more and more yoga, home fitness, but also they went back to the gyms when they reopened. Team sports, as I said, quite under pressure. Basketball, football, these sports were really cancelled. Most of the amateur professional seasons were cancelled. Outdoor, also a big winner of the crisis, camping, outdoor hiking, trail running, and then last but not least, touring and Nordic skiing. So winter sport, alpine skiing, difficult, but there's a trend. What you do in summer with hiking, in winter you do with Nordic skiing and with touring. So clear winner. Then one of the global trends, biking. Biking was popular before, but this year it really boomed. So it's first of all it's a sport, but it's also a sustainable transportation method. So people went biking. Bikes are sold out everywhere in the world. So from electric bikes, which is a trend really in Europe, that people do buy an electric bike, to road biking, but also just a normal urban bike where you go shopping with. So this is a clear trend, and it's expected that until 2025, so 25% of the world population are going with a bike to work, which is a really big increase. So biking will remain a trend, and everybody who is not doing bike yet should really focus on the biking category more and more. The next one, as I mentioned before already a couple of times, is fitness and yoga. Fitness, yoga, everything what has to do with training is really popular. And there's a lot of different items from hardware, from footwear, but also apparel. You still don't need too much equipment. You can do it alone, a lot of activities, but also in groups and in gyms you can do. So training is definitely a big trend. And then running. So the nice thing of running is you can do it anywhere, anytime. So, and people found out, okay, just going out 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever your distance is really good for your health. Get some energy out. You don't need a lot of equipment for that. You need, of course, a good shoe. You need some apparel. Of course, you can also have some accessories, some hardware, some smartwatches, but you don't need too much of that. But these three categories, biking, fitness, and running, are the clear winners of this year and will continue to grow also in the next year. What is really important, all this, and that is a global thing, has to be under a sustainability aspect. So sustainability is really important. People, consumers are taking more and more care of global sustainability, that the products are responsibly manufactured according to working standards, but also environmental friendly. So last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the Chinese sporting goods industry. So this year we have seen another big shift towards online. Of course, platforms like Tmall were strong before, but especially this year when it came to the lockdown in January, February, March, the online shift was even stronger than before. So we have seen that already online was strong before, but it increased from 30 to 36% over the last years. And now this year it's expected that the whole sporting goods market in China is almost 50% online. It is with this the clear number one channel in sports. But also online globally is on the rise. We as Intersport focus a lot on online. Every brand is focusing a lot on online. And it's expected that the share of online almost doubled now in this year in most countries, and it will continue to grow. But offline is not dead. So we see, and we will also see in the future that offline retail is continuing to grow momentum. But offline retail can't only be a store where you buy some products. So this is really back in the days. So you put products in your store, people come and buy them. This is not anymore happening. So you need to have experience. You need to connect your two channels, offline and online, what is called O2O or new retail, Alibaba is calling it. You have to be exciting. There have to be a product testing, product innovations in there. And the store has to be more a community place rather than a store in the future, with maybe like a food and beverage option also in the store. So the connection of offline and online is important. And this we see globally. And we are investing a lot in technology, connecting our online channel with our offline channel, that we really have what we call seamless retail, the new retail in there. And then also Double 11 we see for us was quite successful. I mean, we are here now. We see these categories which I mentioned before were growing a lot during Double 11. So Intersport, we were lucky. We were already the second biggest multi-brand sports store on Tmall on that day. So we grew a lot compared to last year. And also new things like live streaming we see in China, but also globally is growing. So this is something what we really have to focus on also as a global company. This is a trend, social recommendation, product recommendation, live streaming is growing everywhere in China, but also elsewhere. So this we see as a really trend globally. So to sum this up, what I said before, a couple of topics, couple of bullet points. So the number one is always focus on your target consumer. That your consumer is the most important. You have to know your consumer. You have to know who he is, what he does, what he wants. This is really the most important thing. Then secondly, you need to have a strategy. You need to know your consumer, but you also need to know where do you want to go in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever in there. And then you build your assortment around that. You buy the right products for your strategy, for your consumers. So choosing the right product is, of course, the most or one of the key functions for us in the product in the sport industry. Thirdly, communication, and especially this year, as I mentioned before, it was more important than ever. Connect to your consumers, communicate with your consumers. So this is really important. You have to be always available to your consumers, and it has to be relevant because people get so many messages, so many like advertisings per day to see. So only the really important and the meaningful ones will keep in the consumer mind. Thirdly, retail excellence. This is offline and online. So either your store or your online store, so has to be good, has to be relevant for the consumer. There has to be a reason to go there. It can be the price, it can be convenience, it can be the excitement, but you have to be retail excellent. Your operation has to be good. And then the service part. So service is really important. And again, also here, it's offline and online has to be, you have to be relevant for the consumer. You have to offer the right service, like example here, a foot analysis to identify the right running shoe. It can be the right ski boot. It can be the right bike. It can be anything. And last but not least, you have to know data. You have to have the right data. You have to have a business intelligence. This is the key, really. I mean, not only I say that. So we say data is the oil of the future. So you have to know. And that's why I want to end with a quote of Daniel Zhang, who said, "Technology and data empowers our whole business." This is how we work. So when people say AI, we laugh and say that to us, it's Alibaba intelligence, because data and technology power everything we do. And this is really important. So you have to know your consumer, you have to have your data, and then I think you can buy the right products for the consumer, sell it in the right channel for the right price, and this is the most important thing. Thank you very much for listening today, and see you next time.
Thanks, Robin, for sharing. Now winter is coming. It's the greatest time for winter sports. So now I wanted to introduce the Italian sports apparel producer, Tecnica Group, the managing director, Mr. Remigio, to talk about the winter sports. Let's welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to Alibaba.com to give me the opportunity to talk with you about the winter sports trend, especially in this particular year due to the outbreak that is affecting at the worldwide level. Remigio Brunelli, I'm Managing Director of Tecnica Group China, part of Tecnica Group, that is a leading sport equipment manufacturer in the market of footwear and winter sports equipment. We are an Italian company based in the north of Italy, close to Venice. Our vision it's inspire an active outdoor life, and our mission it's aim to create amazing experience through outstanding products. The capacity of Tecnica and the networking it gave us a good opportunity to talk today about how the production and the sales could be working together. The products category that we have, it's cover different kind of footwear and winter equipment, and as well as in terms of geographical areas, we cover all around the world, from North America through Europe and as well as Asia. That gave us a good and wide opportunity to analyze the trends of the COVID effect through the network of distribution. First of all, for us, sport is an experience and destination, because sports is a lifetime, is an occasion of social and cultural, but is even a reason to spend and to shop, related to tourism, related to F&B. Talking about more specifically about the winter market, we are going to see that over the last 15 years, the average skiers worldwide has been around 350 million, and 50% of them are mainly focused on the Alps and western of Europe. So it's interesting because even if it's the Alps cover just 1/3 of the world's resorts, in terms of the skiers, they are able to host more than 50% of the skiers at the worldwide level. So it's a good opportunity to analyze what is going on in Europe recently, because in terms of winter, the winter sports are not just an exciting experience, but it's a life. It's a kind of lifestyle and a leisure industry that bring together healthy sports activities, but as well as tourism and hospitality. Winter tourism is definitely an important part of the GDP of the Alpine countries, because it's able to generate almost 28 billion euros as a turnover. That is equal to 7% of the total tourism industry in Europe. So it's very sensitive activities related to the winter sports. And in a situation that today, like Asia, it was kept international travel on hold, Europe it was focus on how to cope with the first wave and try to ensure a summer business to their own retailers and their own main operators. This is definitely what's been a great opportunity for the retailers and the networking and all the industries to remain alive. And in each single crisis, there is always a winner. And the winner in this case has been, in terms of sports, definitely bike, running, hiking, and inline skates. That is so consistent growing over the year to year. Almost most of them, they double, and in certain circumstances, even 3 times their own business revenue year on year. Related to the winter, that despite a great snowfalling season and sunny weather, unfortunately the ski resorts are closed. And this moment, the situation is very confused because the second wave is effective Europe at a very consistent way. And there are the latest news of the mutation of the virus that is being came out from UK over the last couple of days. It's generated even more uncertain situation and not clear future for what's the market and the winter specifically. The latest news I was telling, if you're going a little bit more in depth, we're talking about Austria, Italy, Switzerland, and France. That are the main countries affected by the Alps, and all of them they have a kind of uncertain situation. Who is going to be in lockdown totally, like Italy, at least till the end of this year and the early next year, or like in France, in which officially the ski resorts are open, but the cable car are not operated. So it's in this kind of situation we need to definitely have a lot of creativity in the winter in order to survive. And what is going to be the first effect of the beginning of the season is that definitely is the question is which going to be the sport that will boom in during the winter. And the answer is pretty much easy at this stage because it's definitely the ski touring, the cross-country skiing and the snowshoeing are the most popular sports compared to the traditional and famous alpine ski. The current crisis definitely gave even a good opportunity on the e-commerce and web sales. There's been a lot of investment over the last month from all the main retailers in order to turn from brick and mortars and going directly to talking with the end user and consumers in order to grab their own attention. What is coming quite interesting as a result is most of the retailers, even if they realize that the website and the e-commerce sales are important, remaining evident that the touch point at the shop, it's remaining the main important moment of the purchase from the winter sports fans. And therefore, as I say, it looks like that the shop is still the most important touch point for the end user. And definitely this is going to be a process that is starting from the PR activities and radio and TV communication that is going to create a certain awareness and interest in the products. But the real effect of the purchase is not now done at the inside of the point of sales. And then there is an activities that is very important as well, is the term of retention and advocacy in order to continue to have a direct connection with our customer. Situation in this moment, it's as I said before, it's quite uncertain, but we don't have to stop it. We need to continue to see and looking forward about the future. And talking about how the producers and manufacturers like Tecnica Group they cope with has been a certain kind of flexibility and capacity to reading the effect situation. I would like to share with you some winning facts that has been put in place by Tecnica Group, and I'm sure that it could be interesting for all of you in order to evaluate the future situation, because unfortunately, especially in Europe, the second wave is in place, but the third should be even behind the corner. And the expectation of the 2021, especially for the first half of the year, will be not so shining and positive. As I said, the first factor is that we're starting to have a high flexibility during the pandemic in March and to listen carefully our customers in terms either retailers or rental in order to guarantee to them in a production capacity that it was matching their own needs. And as well as we try to making a reorganization of the collection in order to guarantee a certain kind of products that it could be never out of stock and give to our retailers the confidence that even if they didn't place consistent orders during the beginning of the season, they should be reordered according to the needs and according to the evolution of the market in such an uncertain situation. It gave them a lot of confidence to consider our brands and our collection as a solid partner for their own business. The second part that was been moving more from the market to the internal process definitely has been on the value chain. Therefore, we reschedule the production planning in order to catch in the market needs, and that one was gave us a perfect delivery timing, and that has been very appreciated by our customers. And as well as we keep an open window in order to be able to accept the later extra order of products, and this is again to guarantee flexibility and harmony with our customers. Overall, it's really important to listen the market and able to react in. And recently, the capacity of the value chain to react easily and faster, it's definitely an important, has been an important key factor for us. And current status situation of the market, it's a must to listen what are the consumer needs and the retail needs. This is going to give guarantee and a flexibility that it give a comfort to the brick and mortars, because as I said before, it still be remaining, especially for the Intersports, the key point for sales. The last part that I would like to touch with you is that there is not anymore a difference between Europe and China in terms of customer needs. I think that there is a global vision in terms of products innovation, in terms of customer service, and in terms of lead time. All these three elements together, they're going to make a difference in terms of brand loyalty and capacity to persuade the customers and the shopper to remain stitched to our brands. So my last recommendation is in the future to have more and more capacity to talking with vendors and to try to put their own needs from vendor side and brands company on the same page in order to deliver the perfect combination and in terms of products and in terms of lead time to the shoppers. I would like to thank you, all of you, for the attention, and I'm looking forward for the next. Thank you.
Thank you for all the sharing from our three distinguished buyer guests. We appreciate the sharing from three distinguished guests. Today we also invite two sellers to join our discussion. So let me welcome to the stage and let them introduce themselves. Okay, first of all, let's welcome to guests from here, our sellers. Let them introduce themselves real quick. Go ahead. Who's gonna go first?
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Milson, the COO from Xiamen Kaisen Trade Company.
Oh, thanks, Milson. So this is Molly from GRT Tech. I'm the co-owner of the company. And GRT is an experienced manufacturer located in Nantong who design, develop, and manufacture fitness accessories for over 16 years. So we cooperate with a lot of top brands like Lululemon, TRX, and Icon. So we have a lot of experience in developing new products with our clients. And as a huge fan of Jack Ma, so we started our online store over 16 years, almost the first, when we started up in our companies, we got the online store. So currently we have 5 stores in total online, and in our 2020, in our GMV has breakthrough $8 million, all coming from Alibaba.com. Yeah.
Thanks for the introduction. You also have something to add?
Can I say more?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Xiamen Kaisen is the branch company of Tecnica Group. Tecnica Group has 3 factories. We have 6,000 workers and 20 production line. Because our good service and product and the good quality products, and we have the long-term and stable customers, such as the brand Fila, Zara, Diadora, US Polo, Lotto, and so on. We believe that we have ability to survive every customers. Yes, thank you.
Sounds good. So let's talk about some very hot topics. Hopefully everybody can join with me, share your insights, all right?
Okay.
So this year is a very special year, right? Actually, literally, the crisis, the COVID-19 crisis has surrounded for almost a year, So what actions have you all taken to fight against the crisis? So can you share?
Yeah. Shall I start? Okay, so I think for us, all here, or all in the sporting goods industry, at the beginning of the year, we didn't really know what to expect. So there was a corona outbreak, then there was a lockdown here, from end of January to mid of March, and every company in the whole world thought, okay, what will be the outcome, what will be the impact to my company? And what we've seen, of course, some short-term impacts from like offline to online, that people bought more and more, and everybody wanted to safeguard their income and their sales. So, and what I think most companies, including our company, did is we focused much more on online than before. So we and a lot people say the COVID outbreak was a boost for technology, for digitalization, and I think a lot of companies did what they usually would have done in 5 years in 2 or 3 months. So I think that was a major impact for most companies, the digitalization, focusing more on the online channels. But then also other product groups came up, like focusing on for example, for us, on running, training, bicycling, things what you can do alone rather than the team sports. We are normally very strong in basketball and football,
Right.
and this because all the events were suspended, so we focused more on these individual sports. So I think that was kind of our main impact, digitalization and focus on different product groups.
Yeah, I see the exact same trends online on Alibaba.com. So my team is also, focused on the individual sports activities like bicycling. It's been the traffic and the buyer needs has been like through the peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also because I think people were not traveling this year, but they stayed domestically. We see that camping, outdoor activities also grew a lot this year. People stay in their home country and then go biking or go for a hiking trip or even a week camping. So all these things grew a lot, and for us, same offline and online, of course.
Yeah, I feel totally agree with you, because a lot of other like OEM manufacturer, a lot of our clients, they were also selling off like team sports training stuff. So like one of my clients named Skills, they were doing a lot of like golf training stuff and baseball training stuff and so on. So, due to like the whole city was shut down, there was nowhere to play like a team sports. So they pay more attention on like home gym accessories, such as like jump ropes, cold sliders, and things like that. So we definitely shifted our production lines to adapting their huge demand increasing from the home gym category. We put a lot of attention on that part to develop the more products together with them. And also we invest a lot on Alibaba.com to do the online, promotions on Alibaba. We do a lot of omni-channel promotions through the website to get a lot of feedback from the market, also from a lot of like customers over there.
Yes, I agree with you. And as we know, the sudden outbreak of the epidemic has disrupted the markets in all industries, and many enterprises are actively exploring and seeking new opportunity in the crisis. At the beginning of the year, based on the adjustment of the epidemic, we decided to do the online business, and we launched the Alibaba's online trade project in June this year. Now we have two stores, one focusing on customization, which is 5-star rating, and another one focusing on ready to shop. So far, our transaction volume of $3 million have been achieved. Yes, and we already have 2 golden customers. Yes, and last week our sales team told me we have already almost $5 million of orders are still under negotiation. Yes, and
That's great.
I think that is something really interesting what you said, customization, personalization. This we also see a lot this year,
Yes.
that it's either really mass products or customized product. Yeah, products what you can individualize either by size or with a print or with a name on it.
Yes.
So this is really a growing thing this year, in the last years, but even more this year. I think people want either something customized, personalized, and then they're also willing to pay a little bit more, or of
Yes.
course mass market. But I think that is a important thing. The customization got very important this year, even more than before.
yes,
Customization requires very good, flexible manufacturing capabilities, right? Because the quantities won't be huge for each model. So the factories, actually there are quite a few manufacturers on Alibaba.com. They provide low MOQ solutions for a customer to customize their needs.
yes.
Yeah. In terms of the action plans under the pandemic time period, Hassan, what do you say?
You know, it's interesting. I believe that COVID, especially in the beginning, and now in other geographies at this moment still struggling, create a lot of panic. You know, it created a lot of panic and very short-term decisions for everyone, and it was almost in a moment where you want to pause. You want to pause and really think about panic is deadly. You know, being afraid is survival. So it's all okay to be afraid of tomorrow. It's all okay to be afraid of, hey, I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. But if you panic, you make wrong decisions. And I'm a very passionate diver. Like in scuba diving, you learn if you panic, that's very deadly. You know, like that's one of the key strategies that I'm trying to absorb as well as implement into day-to-day business. So if you want to be specific around, you know, certain decisions in the marketplace, you know, the pricing strategies, the markdowns, what's happening right now in the industry is not survival for long term, right? So you need to really think about what is the product value that I want to strive for? What is it that I want to serve my consumers and customers? Because they're not here only for today. Like you want to keep them for long term. And with that, you need to build the right level of trust and the right level of service.
This is what I can join the thought that I heard so far, because we are in between now, the two parties that I listened so far, because we are developer and manufacturer from one side, on the other way around now we do wholesale for the retailers. So we are in between the two parties. And it's for sure, as my friend Robert said before, we didn't know what's going to be in January of 20, but for us, the big question is going to be even tougher. What is going to be the 2021? Because it's going to be longer than we expected, different waves. And for one of the things that we thought dramatically is to be flexible. The flexibility that has been helping us in the 2020. And the flexibility has been not only in terms of production, but in terms of collection, construction, and concept. In order to guarantee our customer, that for us is mainly our customer are shop owners, or no matter if it's online or offline, and guarantee a certain capacity of inventory in order to reorder and not load everything on their own side in terms of PO or basic order. So flexibility definitely it's something. We saw even that the high-end products is more affordable in terms of demand from the market. And as Robin said, and my friends on my left said, it's customization and personalization. It's something that is going to be more focused because individual sports are, and we are mainly in individual sports because we are focused on running and inline skates, hiking, trekking, and as well as ski. That winter sports, as I say before, they are suffering. Winter, in terms of natural distance or safety distance, ski is perfect because you cannot ski into one too close to the other one.
Right.
But unfortunately, the way to go up is going to create some problem in terms of mass people. So that is a little bit friction there.
This production is a very important thing. What we see is that the production is also getting closer to the selling point. So we see that, we as Intersport, we have 5,500 stores globally in 46 countries at the moment. And we see that, of course, China and Asia is still the production place. But we see still, or that especially the higher level goods, they are going also a little bit to Eastern Europe now, to North Africa, because it has to be faster. And I think this is a trend for the future also. It's also sustainability thing, because of course logistics get much more affordable if you are closer to the point of sale then. And of course the ultimate thing, what people, but nobody knows how long this will take, is that you can print your own product at home. That's not good for you guys, right? Because you are in production. But one day, simple products you will be able to 3D or 4D or whatever 3D print at home. When will this happen? Is it 20 years? Is it 15 years? Is it 50 years? Maybe, I don't know.
Knows.
But this will happen at one point. And what role does then we as a selling point, but also the production, but also Alibaba as a seller? Is it only a marketplace and then you can customize your product and then you get the construction plan and then you print that product on your own at your home? Nobody knows, but this will happen. It has to be more flexible in the future. Nobody can afford to produce 5 million pieces of something and then let's see if we can sell it or not next year. So we can't afford that. Then the environment not, and most cash flows and most companies can't afford that anymore.
Right.
Right.
So what I'm hearing is in 2020, the successful businessmen, businesswomen, and you guys are focused more on the change to the customer needs under the certain pandemic crisis, right?
Yes.
So you focus on the category, certain categories, certain product, and also you focus on the supply chain as well, right? So speaking of change, there's another change that's happening real fast in 2020, which is from offline to online. We call this digitalization. So everything has to be digitalized, right? So this year, all the traditional trade shows couldn't happen offline, and all the business reunion, the how to say it, all the business associates, they can't get together offline. So everybody is looking for a solution online. So this year, Alibaba came up with some we call online trade show, and also we have some other scenarios that will help the buyers and sellers understand the product better. So how do you guys feel like this approach is going to impact your business?
Yes, and because of the epidemic, the global trade suffered the setback, and this year China's foreign trade is undergoing profound changes. As we know, the online cotton fair was held on schedule, and 26,000 foreign trade enterprises have gone to the crowd. The exporter and the buyers from all over the world do business without leaving home. I think offline to online is not a simple copy of the traditional model, but the new structure, design, and the process re-engineering.
I think there's a difference between like B2B and B2C business here. So what we have to differentiate. B2B business, as you said, trade shows, for example, or sales meetings, that I go to your factory or to you having a sales meeting. There, everything was digital this year. So we had digital product meetings, and this is kind of difficult. Trade shows, product meetings, I think the buyers still like to see the product, touch the products. Can you send the sample of every single product to every single of your customers? It's difficult. If you have 100 customers, you send 100 samples to every of these 100 customers. So that is a difficult thing, and I think everybody is now happy that this is back now, that we can visit again the Nikes, the Adidas, whatever factories. At least for us, we can say that. Other meetings, digitalization, and then also the B2C, this is much more digital than before as well. Also here, what I said before in my speech also, we see that some product groups are good for digitalization, some product groups not. I mean, we have products, for example, the shoe I'm wearing as a Tecnica shoe, you can customize this shoe. You have to heat this up, and then in the store it gets customized on your foot. You can't replace this with online. So you can buy the product online, and then you can go to the store and then do the customization. So this is really O2O as its best, and this also luckily will not be replaced. So I think we have to find the mix really. How do we use the technology of Alibaba, of Tmall, whatever, and then combine it with an offline experience that people can enjoy the product, have some additional value there. So I think it will be a mix of meetings, of sales, offline and online. The right model, what everybody's calling the new normal. I think this is the important thing, that it's a mix of both things together. Using technology, but still keeping the human interaction part in it.
So especially for the B2B part, do you believe the offline interaction will be eventually eliminated at all?
Probably not eliminated at all. But when I think we all traveled a lot in the last years, yeah. And this year you go down from 160 travel days per year to 7, probably, maybe 8 or 10. So it will not go back to 160 probably, that half of the year you spend traveling. But some meetings, and I'm also happy that we are sitting here as a group now and not having this as a whatever conference, Skype, Zoom, whatever, WeChat conference. So this is of course better if we have real interaction. So it will not get replaced, but will it be in the future 30 travel days or 60? I don't know really. But it will be a mix, as I said before, between what we had 2019 and 2020. I think there, I can only repeat myself, the important thing is that we use the technology as good as possible, but don't use the human interaction, because that is what we all need. We need human interaction also.
Better efficiency and better customer experience. Right. So everybody has been experiencing the change from offline to online. Mr. Hassan, what's your opinion on this?
You know, online and offline, I believe it's all hand in hand. You can't do one or the other without each other. So the whole industry obviously accelerated the online shopping behavior, right? We're still not there with the right experiences and how to illustrate and show and present. I'm a consumer myself, and I get many times frustrated in many different websites how to buy product. You get lost sometimes, right? So there's a lot of areas that, you know, many brands, many companies still have to do a better job on creating great experiences online. But it's not just online. You still want to touch and feel, and you want to put it on, you want to have an experience in the shop, you want to create an experience for the consumer also offline to really bond with your brand. So I believe that on and offline is still critical for future.
Totally agree with that part. And I also think due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I think it just accelerated the speed of digitalization, but that would be happen whatever, there is no such a kind of issue. I think digitalization is kind of the new tendency. Of course, younger generation were doing the part of sourcing,
Yes.
and they really adapt into online shopping experience. And also, I know Alibaba pay a lot of attention of get the buy-in process more productive, right? So we have like online trader shows to show our like a live tour, the factory tour. We take over like a 20 live to show our auditing assessment to get our buyers know every detail of our factory. And 3D VR showroom could be another part. We showed in our production line as it really is. So all these tools can make the buying process more productive online. So I think that definitely a new tendency for B2B business.
So of course, the digitalization, sometimes I summarize it like education, and because as I heard already, it's tough to take just one path. It's a mix it up, and the right is always in between. And even Alibaba.com is going to be through different branches to establish the concept of omni-channel. No? They realize that they want to have some physical store as well, so something that it was missing. So we're talking about the biggest player in the world in terms of e-commerce, that he realized that he wants to have some physical stores. Therefore, and on the other way around, instead of just the physical store, they cannot survive because they're not able to catch in the mass market that is worse. So I think that it's easy to say, it's tough to do, because on the other way around, it depends which kind of products you're talking about in terms of there are technologies, more fashion price-wise, because over a certain kind of value, customer, they still like it to touch in the products. It's not just to have and going directly into the shop and get out with their own shopping bags, compared to having a quality that they really to you and a known packaging. And the packaging is another big challenge. You know? So even in my case, is because I'm 15 years in China, 8 years of consumers and customer for Alibaba.com, how is the packaging now is getting much more important. Before it was just arriving in a known part, and now if you go in a higher level products, it's like to go to the shop, because otherwise you're missing the link with your customers and you're becoming just a number. So it's an education process, as she said, it's accelerated process that was naturally rolling on to that direction, and it's an opportunity to customize the message. And live streaming, it's the typical example. I mean, it's something that physically we are a kind of live streaming, right? Yeah. And because certain kind of from 2D to 3D, at least to show the products, because in the end, unfortunately, the sales on the online is still being a kind of 2D, and we're missing some value and perception in one of the sense of
and
us.
Sport is still a real activity. That is the thing. I mean, of course, there's esports, but doing sports, and we are all more or less in sports industry, is really a physical activity.
You're totally right. In my speech before, I said that so far, the most purchases are done in the shop. This is worldwide speaking, especially in the sports where there is a technology. So it's on the vice versa. I mean, in China, as far as our knowledge, the shop are to take knowledge about the products, and then there is the research through the website, through Alibaba.com or Tmall, about the best products that you want to in terms of color, features, and price. In Europe and in US, it's a little bit vice versa. The website is use it to get the knowledge, to have the awareness of the products, but the purchase moment is still be done into the retail, in the physically retail, because they want to touch in the products, they want to fit in the products, and they want to be confident, even from some key floor guys' words, that they are going to buy something that is really fit them, because the sports are more and more individual, and you want to have your extension body and body in order to be to enjoy your leisure time. So that's depends on the product category, Robin. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So it sounds like because of sports specialty, the B2C experience has to be something related to offline activities, to try on this product, to experience this activity, something like that. But for B2B, this year we introduced a lot of live show activities from our sellers, to the buyers. This is quite common actually in B2C site right now, right? Tmall, especially in China, live show is a huge impact on the e-commerce business. I'm not sure outside of China in your country whether live show is popular to sell the product to the end customers.
It's growing, but it was so because we did, again, that's more B2C than B2B. We did a lot of live streaming on Double 11. Just recently was Double 11, on Double 12 also, but Double 11 especially. We did a lot of live streaming as Intersport, and we were quite successful with that to the consumers. And then I recorded a video and showed that to our CEO. Like we had and he was saying, "Really, this is how it works?" I said, "Yeah, we did like." That turnover with that was really our growth this year. Almost only came we had a good normal business, but the real growth this year came from the live streaming this year on especially on Double 11. And he said, "Really, this is how it is?" But this is like kind of an old concept. I mean, we had this 30 years ago. It was called teleshopping, right? I mean, there was somebody like an old lady saying, "Okay, this is a new iron, so it works really well," and then showing this. It's nothing new. It's just the way how it's communicated nowadays and how it's live streamed. I mean, and then I tell like my international people from the digital department, live streaming is a thing, and there's Douyin, and there's this, and there's so many new platforms now here. And then they say, will this also come to Europe? Will this come to the rest of the world? I talked to our Canadian people like 2 days ago. They said, it's starting also here. I said, again, it is existing in your country. It's just the way. Will 5 million people watch this live stream? Or maybe you start with 10, 15, 20 people, but it will come in others. And then we have to see what can be the platform. And then, of course, you are also active in Southeast Asia with Lazada as Alibaba. And it's also increasing there, the live streaming. I talked to my Indonesian colleagues yesterday, and it's growing everywhere, and it will grow everywhere. Not sure if it's really growing to the same level where it is in China, but it will grow. And same for B2B. It's also increasing, definitely. All the brands do like the B2B live streaming. Will it be completely from 100 to 0, or will it be somewhere in the middle, as we all said? Probably it's a mix of both. Again, the technology supporting the sales, and then maybe you need still a meeting or something afterwards.
Yeah, I think the key hasn't changed. The live streaming is also a method of transferring information and also interactions. So the live streaming, they conveys the great promotion information to the customers, and also they can
like
do
free,
live
free
interactions.
sample, something.
It's education. Education means in terms of the global meaning, not just education in order to know. I mean, you need to really talk in 360 degrees. It's an interesting instrument, but here is getting a crucial role from the vendors, because live streaming or any kind of activities live means if you have the stock, the right stock, you can win. Otherwise, you lose. So that is one of the tougher. I think, as far as my knowledge, even for the big brands, it's not a matter how many people you can touch it. It's how much is your inventory. It's healthy to catch it, and this is the tougher part. And I think that this is the right time even to close the. I don't want to say close the gap, because there was nothing to close, but to talking more between vendors, value chain, and commercial side and sales. So it's a kind of the dual circulation that in China now they're pushing. So it means even domestic consumption. It's a game that has to be played by all the actors on the same in the same direction, because otherwise there are three main actors: the supplier, OEM, the developer, and the seller. And this has to be put together. It's not easy, but the flexibility, as we say before, I mean, minimum quantities order and a certain kind of flexibility, because the biggest number, it's really tough now, because it's not anymore divided by segment or countries. Now you can buy from Beijing, you can buy to New York, or from Milan you can buy through South Africa. So before, instead, it was a compart or segment specifically. So that is the world is going to be interactive, the production and the value chain and everything on the backstage to arriving on the doors has to be interactive as well. And logistic, digitalization, flexibility and sustainability, because it's another important point that is to be put.
But also service. Yeah, I mean, it's not. We should not forget. Even though you do a live streaming, it's probably also for you not that in the live stream you have like 1 million sales, but there's nobody behind. I mean, you have this live chat. It doesn't matter if it's B2B or B2C, and people afterwards want to either chat with you, like really on the phone or in a chat platform or something. Yeah. So you still have the interaction with somebody, right? Yeah. I mean, again, on Double 11, it's for me again more B2C. You have a couple of hundred people sitting there answering questions about certain products because they want to know still things. Live streaming is partly taking over this job, but still people have the request, can I change this, can I change this color, can I do here, can I do there? So there's still an interaction and a service part in there, even though the digitalization taking a lot of these things away, but still you need good educated people in the customer service really finishing the sales then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of discussion around this. So I think it's great that everybody embrace this change, embrace this trend. So we're gonna see how this will impact B2B continuously in the future. So talking about future. So I would like to ask you guys, what do you see in 2021? What's your business strategy will go? And is there any hint or suggestion you can give to all the people that are in sports industry?
Yeah, as the enterprises, I want to introduce two ideas. One is the recyclable materials. Yes, our factory has passed the inspection and get the certificates of the material proceed according to the recyclable claim stand, and we use the recyclable material on our products like PU, rubber, and the leather, canvas, something like that. Yeah, and our customers have used the recycled material in their samples and bulk orders. Yes, I think this is a trade of the product. Yep. Another point is personalize the customization on products, and like drying by hand. Our supplier can provide the service like drawing the customer's logo or picture they like by hand. Yes. Another way is UV printing. It's a common process. Yes, this is two ideas that I think this is a trade-off product. Yes.
Yeah, I also bring something like with recycling material, like ocean recycling yams to make the straps and something like that. But I think for the tendency, life pace is really fast right now. So I would like to introduce the idea of functional design to the audience. Functional design means which is really like functional as its name, right? So it's like 20,000 HIIT or Tabata exercises could reach like a 1 hour running. So in order to shorten the training time or period, they have more strong, efficiency on your body by combining the full body movement or the dynamic resistance. So more the idea behind that. And another was like easy carrying or like a home gym concept, which is really getting popular, especially on this, special time period. So something pocket size, something, have multifunctional, you can bring anywhere to set up at your home, your gym, or even anywhere you want would be another new tendency. Yeah.
Okay, maybe to add, so I think the trend what we had in 2020 will continue in 2021. So one mega trend definitely, you both mentioned that sustainability, definitely. It gets super important in especially Europe, USA, but it also gets more and more in the consumer mindset, especially of the younger people in China. I think sustainability, I think you have to have a focus on. I think this will definitely be. Then, of course, the digitalization will continue. This will play a major role. I mean, everybody's growing up with the smartphone nowadays. People are used to work digital. We used to work in home offices. Used to maybe not have so many physical meetings. Really, I think everything what we discussed so far will continue in 2021.
Yep.
Question is, what will happen, of course, with the rest of the world? Will travel come back? Will it be possible with the vaccination that people are traveling again? I mean, there was nobody coming to China basically in the last 9 months for like really factory visits,
Yeah.
right? When you didn't have overseas people there. Will this continue in 2021 or not? But I think it will be less at least than before. So, and then the third one is sports, luckily, will continue be really important for the people. People have a more mindset for being health,
Yeah.
family gets more important, but also health, well-being, because people
Absolutely.
thought about in Corona times.
Yes.
Okay, there's more important things than success, than maybe money, than whatever things, really items. So it's more about health, family. So, and that is good for us because we are in the sport industry. We sell sport products. So this is definitely a trend which will continue. So I think, again, sustainability, digitalization, and that people in general do more sports. Say these three things will continue in 2021.
I would like to add in flexibility.
Flexibility.
Yeah, because and I think that we find how the world is able to adapt much faster than we supposed. You know? Starting from us, from one day they're starting to thinking that you have to stay stuck in your home for 15 days. You should be not imagining. In reality, instead, everybody did that. Everybody was happy and tried to be flexible in the way that find other things to do or to do the same things in another way. And this is a part that I think that has been on a very step forward. In which we're talking a lot in the past of flexibility, but reality was not that much. I think instead of 360 degrees because in the end, all of us, we are end user as well. It's not just, we don't just play a role. So if we put ourselves in the end user and consumers, good consumers, we want to be spoiled in somehow, faster execution. So the flexibility is going to be on top of all of what I listen, because the world has never been back. Now, when I heard a lot of time, they say that when we will be back. No, we will never be back at that stage. We're going to moving forward to play in a different way. As soon as the border, they're going to be lifted down and steered down, and to see what is going on in terms of consumer habits, transportation, mobilization, because even vaccine is going to be, but who's going to be do it, and it's going to be feel safe. So there will be some change.
It will take a long time for everybody to get vaccine.
It takes a long time, and probably, I mean, some countries that in terms of democracy or rights, they're not going to take it. So in Europe, at least, now one of the big questions is everybody was chasing the vaccine, and now the next question is who's going to have the vaccine?
Right.
I mean, it's not you cannot impose it because of certain kind of human rights that everybody can choose in it. But on the other way, it's going to be a limitation where you need to be flexible because people they do and people they don't. And this is going to be quite interesting. And this is even probably, personally, is one of the reasons why I like to stay in China, because I hope that the safety is going to be in the same, at the same level and keep going. The second part, it's flexibility of 360 degrees.
Mr. Hassan, do you have any perspective on the 2021 future trends? Can you share with us?
You know, I started my presentation with the consumer. So within the consumer, I have observed during COVID, it started to expand the consumer interest at the elderlies, our senior citizens, right? All of a sudden, each of us cared more about your moms and uncles and, you know, grandpas, grandmas, because again, there was COVID, right? You cared about them. You couldn't visit them at home, etc. Like, I mean, many families have lived through this. But you also wanted them to be healthy and be not mentally healthy only, but physical healthy too. So you wanted to make sure that their nutritions, their vitamins, their physical activities are going, right? If you can't go outside, you need to train at home in some shape or form. So this whole area of what has started now with in-home sports equipment, training equipment, the digital mirrors to apps and trainings that are happening at home is another area that is booming and is going to become much more significant, I believe, in our day-to-day life. But the real one, I believe, is the industry can do a much better job serving our senior citizens. I think that could be an interesting marketplace, as well as with the size of it, could be interesting. So senior citizens. But at the same time, it's not just about the consumer, but we have a world and a responsibility to our world. So the era of sustainability is not a fun fact anymore. It is a must for every brand, for every product, every design we do. We need to think sustainable. Circularity, big trend going on. I believe with all of that, these are the big trends, at least I can see for the future. Thank you.
So Alibaba.com, we as a platform, we don't create new trends. So we, because our goal is to facilitate buyers and sellers to better meet on our platform and transact better on our platform. Mm-hmm. So I think in 2021, with our better capability of collecting buyers, activities and sellers' activities, we will be able to come up with some more data to support the buyers and sellers to do business better, more efficiency. So we're going to do our best job to support sellers to understand the market trends. All right, especially from buyer side, especially for big buyers like you guys. My team is always there to support whatever you want. Mm-hmm. If you want more, capable sellers like them, I'm always ready to introduce you to great sellers. And also, if you need supply chain solutions, even financing needs, we can always talk to get some solutions.
And I think this is really all about China, and especially talking about Alibaba, is convenience. Yeah. So convenience is so important. And if I go back to Europe now, it starts with, okay, I don't have cash with me. You cannot pay a taxi with like just scanning something. Yeah. But it starts with everything, with payment solutions, with everything. And China, and again, especially Alibaba, I'm not saying that because I'm sitting here. It's all about consumer convenience. Yeah. Yes. Everything is so easy and everything is consumer focused. Yes. And this is something what I really like. And then I have to add. So you build the platform, you connect, of course, the consumers with the manufacturers, with whatever, and that is on all your platforms. On Alibaba.com, on Tmall, on Taobao, so you connect the people, and then it's so easy to shop there. Doesn't matter if you want to buy 1 million or one thing. It's all about convenience, and this is really what I really like in China and about the platform, that it's so easy. Just normally by like whatever Face ID or fingerprint, you can do everything. You get the information, and still the service is really good. What I really like is, as I said before, even when you do online shopping, the service is always good. There is somebody behind. If you try I come from Germany, probably we know what website I talk about. You send an email and 2 weeks later you get an answer to that. Really, it's like that. And this is definitely so different in China. And even everything is digital. There's always a service component behind there. So convenience and service is so good here in China. And that is what I like, really. And this is a trend which is hopefully not going away. Yeah,
we'll continue to grow. Yeah.
In fact, Davin, I a little bit disagree with you, because are you sure that you're not a trendsetter? Because based on what I heard, you are a trendsetter. You're not just a service. This is a totally new direction. Then, of course, you keep going even Robin said, care about the service, connector. You're a connector, provider, service provider. but I think that Alibaba.com, it's really trendsetter. I mean, it's
Invented in terms of products, probably, right?
Yeah.
But he's not
No.
creating the product, creating the platform to connect there. I agree
See,
with
but
you,
I mean,
yeah.
it was a little bit
But, yeah,
provocation, of course. I mean, it's because for me, it's a product. Them. I mean,
Yeah,
they
that's
see
a product.
us as a product, but for me, it's a product.
Yeah.
It's a product. It's a platform. Call as you wish, but it's changing the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
changing the world. I mean, China is a part of the world, probably the biggest one, but it's going to be motivated other parts, other continents to say. It's like we say, the live streaming. It's something that it was using 50 years ago, but it was just a TV, a cable TV.
Yeah.
So the networking was really short and very tight. Nowadays you can reach instead everyone with mobile and digitalization. Therefore the concept is there, is the evolution, and you did a trendsetter on this kind of part. So that's I'm glad to be part of this kind of era, because every 2-3 years there is something, even less, something new, something, and it's almost coming from the same actors, and you are one of them. So I mean, it's don't be so shy. You're a trendsetter.
Yeah, totally agree. I used to study in the Los Angeles, and when I fly back to China, I was taking my credit card to everywhere. Even my aunt was, laughing at me. Why are you doing this? You should just use your cell phone. So totally agree. You are the new tendency creator. You are the
Yes.
Well,
really in advance
agree.
in the whole world.
I think especially Alibaba.com as a B2B platform,
Yeah.
we continue to discover the value, to strengthen the value that are supporting the transactions. So we came up with some, like I just said, not only just matching piece, but also supply chain, but also financing, all kinds of solutions that make business easier. I think that's it. We respect B2B, really, because this is very different than B2C.
Yeah.
This is very different than B2C. I was going to say that, especially for live streaming, I don't know how far this can go, but at least from live streaming B2B part, the content is going to be totally different than the B2C live streaming,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't want to sell a forklift truck, like what you do on B2C side. It's going to be very different. Business buyer wants to watch the factory audit, like you do a lot of factory audit live streaming,
Yeah.
right? So content would be very different. So we're just trying to digitalize what's happening offline at this point and try to make it more effective. So far, that's it. But if you have more needs, more business-related needs, you can always come to us, and we can brainstorm and come up with some new solutions using the technology and data, especially data.
Exactly. So it's
Thank-
customization, and on the other way, it's time-consuming, because as we say before, before we travel in like 50% of our time, and today you can optimize the time consuming and have more space and more time for yourself as well. So it's a benefit. So I think it's a cascade benefit from top to bottom. That is very, very interesting, and appreciate your effort to do the connector. So it's a service. So it's not just to produce a products in terms of platform, but it's in terms of service is the most important, no matter if it's B2C or B2B. I think that everybody agree that service is going to be the more and more important key elements, and making differentiation, because if you don't have as Robin said before, if I don't have an answer now, if I'm back in Europe, I'm totally out of the game, because if I don't have an answer here in 24 hours, it looks like what's wrong. In Italy, you have to say 5 o'clock Friday. If I'm lucky, it's Monday afternoon to get an answer, and that is going to be considered a Formula One service in terms of speed. So that's true. Thanks.
Yeah. I think it's great. While we're talking about digitalization, talking about remote economy, but now we're still sitting together face to face, chatting with each other. I think this is great. It's great we can sit together, and hopefully we can meet in the future, and my team will continue to bring service to both buyers and sellers in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Alibaba.
Thank you.
Thank you.